Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Education Nation. My name is Tim Swain, and we are going to be talking about a very popular app or website that your son and daughter may be using a lot with their education during this whole COVID-19 lockdown that we're experiencing. Tonight, we are going to look at Zoom. Zoom. You've heard of it. You have been hearing a lot of it. You've been hearing a lot of great things, but there's some bad things that have happened as well with Zoom. If you've been on social media or looked at the news, this very popular video conferencing product, excuse me for lack of a better term, I couldn't get it out. There's some issues there. And it's a great tool that a lot of teachers and schools and school districts are using to do the whole online distance learning. And it's good. It's a really great tool, but there are a few little things that you as a parent need to know and that you need to be aware of. So we're going to go to the old Googlenator here, and what I want you to type in is parents. Oops, I can do that. Ultimate Guide to Zoom. And we are going back to commonsensemedia.org. We talked about that website last week. And so here is this article that just came out a few days ago. And this is a review of Zoom. Now, I just want to say up front that I in no way work for commonsensemedia.org. This is just, in my opinion, it's a pretty good resource. But like I've discussed before in my previous videos, you as a parent, you need to go out and look at different sources, do your research, and not just focus on one website or particular avenue for your research. You need to look at everything as a whole. Because this one right here, this ultimate guide to Zoom, it's pretty positive. It's pretty positive. And I know I was reading some of the comments that some of the people were saying, and they're like, hey, Common Sense Media, are you working for these people? Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of talk about some things here so that you have a pretty good understanding of what Zoom is, what it's about, how it's used, and maybe some areas where we can run into some trouble. But like I always said, go out and Google Zoom and look at your articles and look at your research and definitely investigate this, because a lot of schools, like I said, a lot of teachers are Zooming with your kids. And so you need to know what's going on. Look at the logo here. They say it's pretty zippy name. It's pretty cool. It's Zoom. It first came out in 2013, and it primarily was for the business. It was the whole video conferencing, and now what has happened is, because of COVID-19 and our schools are out and teachers and students are having to do online learning, we call it remote learning, apps like this, Zoom, Google Meets, have really exploded. And what Zoom did is, when the online learning really started to become popular and that schools were going to this, Zoom went ahead, and they have a couple different levels of subscriptions. And what they did is they really said, hey, if you want to sign up with your school email address, we'll kick you up to another subscription. So they they uh, they kind of they did their own marketing, and they got a lot of people to sign up. And there is a lot of schools here in the United States, all over the world, are using Zoom. I know that I teach at college, community college at night, and before I even heard of Zoom, I was getting an email with a login and a password and an updated account. And I was like, what is all this? And boy, it's really come on fast and hard. And I've been using it. I use it with my college kids at night, and been pretty successful. And so I'm going to next week kind of talk about Zoom from a teacher standpoint, and what a teacher or an educator can kind of do to make sure that you're not having issues. So Zoom is become very, very popular. It's a video chatting or a video conferencing network. It's like Skype. It's like Google Hangout. Uh, and it works off your computer. It works off your phone. It accesses your camera, and it connects. I think my account, I can connect up to 300 people. So I know that different accounts have different levels, and you can connect a lot of people, and you can connect them just with an audio. You can connect them with either with audio and video, so you can see the visual. And kids are attending online classes. Teachers are doing lessons. Families are communicating. So it's basically it's Skype, but in my opinion, it's like Skype on steroids. It's I remember using Skype years ago, and it just was. I know they've improved it since then, but it just was kind of choppy, and different things like that. And I wasn't too impressed. This is pretty impressive. There's a lot of things that you can do. So how does it work? So in essence, you have a host. Could be a teacher or whoever is going to host this meeting. It could be, another kid having a meeting with his friends. It could be a family member, whatever it is, and they go on to the Zoom website, and they have their account, and they go ahead and they set up this meeting, and they email people that they want in this meeting a link. And so all you have to do if you want to join this meeting is you hit this link, and sometimes there's passwords that's set on them. Sometimes there's not. Again, these are all things that I'll talk about in the next segment with educators. But there's a lot of different options that you can do while you're setting up these meetings. And in essence, let's say we're going to do a lesson. I'm going to do a lesson with my math kids at 2:00. Get online, and all the kids just keep coming. And they come, and you can see them all on the screen there. And you do your lesson, and it's a virtual classroom. The software is pretty slick. It runs really well. You can record meetings. You can transcribe what was said in the meetings. There's just a lot of things that you can do with it. I've been using Zoom for a couple months now with my college kids, and haven't had any issues. Every now and then, just with the internet, your internet connection, gets a little spotty at times, just because there's so many people that are using the internet now compared to before. So every now and then, but really, I haven't had any glitches or anything like that. So it's been really successful. So how are teachers using Zoom? They're contacting your kids. They're sending your kids these links, and they're saying, hey, we're going to have class at 2:00 tomorrow. And the teacher can do a variety of things. It's just like the classroom. It's just that everyone's in their home, and including the teacher. The teacher can do a virtual whiteboard where you project a whiteboard on the screen. Uh, you can, as a teacher, you can lecture and do your notes on the whiteboard, and the kids are taking notes. They can interact, they can speak, you can see them, they can see you. It's just like a classroom, but it's a virtual classroom. Kids, there's a chat function on there where kids could chat with the teacher instead of saying something into their microphone, or they can chat with each other. And here's a little downfall. There's some private chatting where normally in a classroom as a teacher, you're right there and you're kind of seeing everything going on. Whereas with this, there's some things that can happen. There's some kids that they can send private messages to other kids, and it could be up to no good. So there's a lot of different things that a teacher could use. I know some teachers that they say, okay, here's my link, and I'm going to have office hours from this time to this time. And then as kids are working on their schoolwork and they need to go and see the teacher, they can just go get online, and can work one-on-one with the teacher. So it's actually it's a pretty good thing. And so I would suggest, okay, and this is, I'm going to really focus and stress with teachers, but also parents, please make sure that you have some type of conversation with your child's teacher. I'm sure, or I'm hoping, that your child's teacher has sent out some type of communication to the parents, kind of explaining how the Zoom is going to work, kind of do's, don'ts, rules, policies, discipline, attendance, all that stuff. But if they haven't, please, parents, get in contact with your teacher, especially if they're using Zoom with your child. Not that it's anything up to no good, but just so that you are informed and you are aware. I have the school district that I've worked in, that I'm working in, excuse me, and we're a lot of teachers are using Zoom, and we're telling our colleagues, our teachers, that before you have a Zoom session with a student or students, that you get parent permission. Parents, you need to give permission to this. You need to know what's going on and be involved and be informed. So definitely, we're suggesting the teachers that they receive parent permission, and parents, please make sure that your teachers, your child's teachers have reached out to you, and they have had a discussion, a communication as to how Zoom is going to be used, and policies and procedures. That is huge. Okay, that is definitely huge. Another thing is that Zoom accounts. All right, and here's something that we kind of need to know about with parents. So in order for students to access the link, okay, they don't need a Zoom account. They can just get online, and let's say the teacher emails your child the link, and all your child has to do is hit the link, and it takes you into that Zoom session. Now, if teachers have put some restrictions on there when creating an account, there are some restrictions that the host can put. And one of the restrictions is that to only allow people that have been authorized. And that is basically where then your child has to sign up for a Zoom account, and either to get gain access to this teacher's lessons or virtual classroom, that they need to either sign into Zoom or they need to have a password and a Zoom account.